thing.
I tell Josh on Facebook, I see something
Recording
that I like.
in progress.
I see something that I like, and I post it on Facebook, and I tag him, Josh, I want this, and he still doesn't. He still doesn't get it.
I'm recording this. No, I'm recording this now, just so I have proof.
Why don't you get that?
I have proof. She tags me and shit, and she doesn't realize that Facebook does this stuff where it's like, hey, Cast of the Pod, we're going live right now. And our friends or whatever, our friends, our listeners, our people, our pod people won't get the shit until like 5 days later. Hey, Cast of the Pod going live. Like she tags me and shit, and then she expects me to remember stuff. You know how many times I've been hit in the head? I don't, because I've been hit in the head too many times.
Excuse me. Deb?
Huh?
What the hell is he talking about?
I don't know.
Right.
I have no
when
idea.
somebody Josh, come on. I ain't no novice. I know how Facebook works. Everybody knows how Facebook works, Josh. You tag somebody in the picture, then they gonna get tagged in the picture. They gonna get an alert.
Yep. But no,
How many times have you seen like a friend post or whatever, hey, let's go out and eat? And then you go down there and you're like, yeah, let's go out and eat. And then they're like, didn't you read it? That was 4 days ago. I'm like, fucking Facebook.
No.
That shit happens to me all the time. I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm not trying to pod nothing or none of that. That's how it happens.
But what about when I tag you and I'm in the other room and I'm like, Josh, look at your Facebook. I want that. And you're like, okay, get it. I'm like, no.
Get it. Save time. Make sure you get the right one.
No. It's not the
See?
same.
You see? It's not the same.
Josh.
If you got it right
there.
there. No.
No.
Y'all always do this shit to me. Where y'all tag up against me because I got that extra 0.1%.
God damn it.
For Josh's birthday
Y'all
this
brought
year.
that shit up.
For Josh's birthday this year, I knew that he wanted the Rodecaster 2.
The Rodecaster Pro 2,
So
which we're
I
using
got
right
it.
now on the pod, for the group, for us, for the people.
And I was gonna surprise him with it, but I forgot that where we get it from, it goes straight to his email. But I ordered it
So
and everything.
instantly, it's like, bling,
Yeah,
your Rodecaster
everything.
Pro is shipping. I'm like, there you go. That's all she's got to do. Do the same thing for herself.
No.
If you see it right there, no, you got it on your phone. It's on the screen right there. All she's got to do, no. All she's got to do is buy now. That's all she's got to do. Just pick up the
And it's
phone.
like if I'm
one
buying
finger,
it for
buy
myself,
now.
not you
Buy
buying
now.
it.
But we have a joint account.
It doesn't matter. It's the
thought that counts.
Yeah, but
The effort.
Josh,
yes, the effort.
I'm gonna buy this gift for myself. Hey, Deb, why don't you do that? Why don't you do that, Deb? That's me saying go for it. Yeah, my blessings. From my heart to your finger to the buy now button.
I think only one time did Josh ever give me a gift without me knowing.
I don't.
And that was before we got married.
I don't have enough voice for this shit. Mr. Webb, Mr. Webb, are you gonna say it?
Josh, hit the intro.
Where the fuck did the intro go?
It took off.
Who moved our intros?
Man,
You sons of a bitch.
this pod is going off for cute.
No, seriously.
Look at this. You can't even find the intro. Deb over here arguing about Josh not being a tag. Josh over here upset about getting hit in the head.
And what are you doing?
Man, I'm waiting on y'all. I'm just watching all this shit. I'm the one that's getting entertained by it. Y'all jokers hilarious. Josh said he would get the pod started.
He's like, son of a bitch.
I'm gonna have to do this shit in post.
What?
You lost it?
No, it's the settings on this thing. This machine is a beast. Is a beast. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. So we're gonna fake it?
Yeah. That's the way we used to
All
do
right.
it back in the day.
You
anyways.
have been warned.
Yeah, now we're coming back in 3, 2. I'll cut all that shit out.
Warning. This podcast is about the horror genre.
specifically horror films. As most horror movies are filled with coarse language, violence and/or gore, the topics and language of the cast of the pod will also reflect the genre. If you have any issues with the aforementioned warnings, please press stop. However, if you have no issue with adult language, movie violence, or the accoutrement that accompanies horror films, please feel free to continue. You have been warned.
Nope.
You're like, nope, it sounds good just the way it is.
All right, so whose turn is it this week to end the pod?
You?
All right, I'm down with that. So, everybody, thanks for tuning in. I don't know how much voice I have. Whatever Deb had last week, I've got this week. And yeah, welcome to the Cast of the Pod, the podcast where the three of us get together and we talk about a movie, how we reacted to it, how the movie made us feel, how we talk about the movie. Sometimes it leads to other stuff, and other stuff leads to other stuff, which leads back to the movie. That's how we do it. Right?
Yep.
That's about right. Yeah.
I'm watching.
I think they get the idea. I think they get the idea by now, John.
What if it's
Even the
somebody's
new people
first
figure it
time?
out.
What if it's somebody's first time here? They just stumbled upon the artwork or something.
That's true. And they're like, hey, this looks pretty cool. What is this about?
Well, look,
and then you just gave them all the information.
Yeah.
Good job.
So all
Good job,
all,
Josh.
all the social medias are at Cast of the Pod. Patreon, Cast of the Pod. Shout out to our Patreon pod people. Brendan from Upkick MMA. Oh, I thought y'all were gonna chip in some. Sam Haim, Samhain, as I call him. Miss Black Cat, and our anonymous nobody. Thank you very much. Yes, we only have 4 Patreons, but you know what? They're the best 4 Patreons out of all Patreons, out of everywhere in the world. Best 4 ever.
Yep.
Club 3P in the house.
Yes. And you know what I forgot to bring up?
What?
Our phone number. We don't have any call-in messages today. No Chucky, no Brendan, no C.E. Garcia from 90 Minutes of Film. So, y'all want to call in? 786-763-2278. Now let's get to business.
Let's go.
Oh man, Josh, what we talking about this week, dude?
Today
What's this movie?
we're talking about a movie that I recommended. This is a Josh movie. I'm gonna say that right now. I want to take
What you talking about?
full credit.
It is
What?
a Josh movie. He did say that he wanted to do this one because it was trending.
Yeah, I saw online that this movie was trending and people were tripping about it. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do a movie that's got some traction to it. And then I'm glad I made the call, the executive decision, the 0.1 choice. This is a 0.1 choice movie. That's what I'm going to call it. 0.1 choice.
0.1 choice.
Okay. I thought it went different like that because I don't remember. But sure. Okay.
I will describe exactly what happened. Right?
Okay.
I
Tell me
was
what happened, John.
I was building shelter for homeless people.
What?
During my free time. I mean, I was ill and weak and everything like that, but I was building shelters for homeless people. And I got this epiphany. It was like
Epiphany?
an epiphany.
You had epiphany, Josh?
An epiphany. Not Tiffany.
this face?
Not Tiffany. She
You see
lives
this
2
face?
houses.
You see this
Tiffany
face?
lives
You see
2
this
houses
face?
down. Epiphany, not
You
a
see this
Tiffany.
face right now?
This is an audio podcast. Nobody can see. I can see your face because of Zoom.
Exactly. So you know how this reaction's going.
So this
Keep
epiphany,
it going. This is
this
entertaining.
epiphany was like one of those glowing, like lightning bug fairies from Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. And I just reached up in the air and I grabbed it, and I put it on the side of my head and it went boing, made a noise like that, and I was like, you know what? This movie has traction. We need to see Under the Skin, starring Black Widow. Why are you looking like that?
Because I'm trying to remember all this that you're saying, and I actually agree with you 100%. It could be like that. I mean, everybody's
that's what
recollection is
that's
something.
exactly what happened.
Deb, how you feeling about that?
If that's what he said,
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
yeah.
All right, so this movie came out in 2013. It is an R-rated film. It's an hour and 48 minutes long. And the description is a mysterious young woman seduces lonely men in the evening hours in Scotland. However, events lead her to begin a process of self-discovery. That, my friends, is what we call an IMDb shut the front door. This is a shitty for new.
That doesn't sound like anything I watched.
Yeah,
nothing at all. For new listeners, you know, I will cuss. I didn't have a problem with it. I could have said fuck, but I'm trying to clean up, you know, what we're saying. We don't need to be saying fuck all the time. So I said shut the front door, because a mysterious young woman seducing lonely men in the hours of Scotland. However, the events lead her to a process of self-discovery. That is like that meme where it's like, describe a movie badly. That's what it was.
And that's what they
Wait
did.
a minute. They actually that is so bad. I have to look up and see whether or not I actually watched the same damn movie.
So no, here's a description. Here's a description by a fan on IMDb. You ready?
Yeah.
An alien entity inhabits the earthly form of a young woman who combs the roads and streets of Scotland in search for the human prey she came to plunder. She seduces her isolated and forsaken male victims into an otherworldly dimension where they are stripped and consumed. However, existence in all its complexity begins to change the alien visitor. She begins to discover herself as human, with tragic and terrifying consequences, by Claudio Carvalho from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. That made more sense, right?
Yeah,
IMDb needs to hire Claudio Carvalho from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Dude.
You didn't see the same movie, did you?
Nope.
What movie did you watch?
I thought I watched Under the Skin, but this is not the same movie that I watched.
Did you watch Scarlett Johansson getting butt booty naked?
No. I'm like, Scarlett Johansson, Scarlet Witch. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Bro!
This is not the movie I saw. I saw something totally different.
Under the Skin.
What did you watch?
You know, I'm sitting up there thinking, wait, let me check my...
Oh, man.
Man, this is all messed up. This is all messed up.
What
And I ain't got nobody to blame but my goddamn self. All right, hold up.
How many
Wait, I'm
Under
going
the
through-
Skin movies are there?
I don't know.
Man, the new listeners are like, this is very unprofessional.
You almost made me cuss.
No wonder you were
Wait,
looking.
yeah, because we watched,
Oh my God, there's a 2022 movie called Under the Skin with Haibu Wu and Jan Xing Tang. Then there's Les Fosses à la Pierre, which is Under the Skin. And then there's Under the Skin with Leek Rosa, Annalik Isabram. And then there's Under the Skin with Jose Luis Barajon. I even told you, Scarlett Johansson.
I'm looking at it right now, Under the Skin, right? And, oh, you know what?
What movie did you watch?
I watched The Dare.
That sounds nothing like Under the Skin.
You know what? It was a long weekend.
Apparently not long enough. I remember when you text me, I'm about to watch The Dare, and I was thinking honestly to myself, I was like, great.
Right, because I for some reason, why are you laughing, Deb?
Because the faces you were making when we're talking about the movie.
I saw the faces too. Hey, I saw the faces, and I'm like, Cobweb's putting a lot of acting into this.
And we're not even doing video.
Nobody's gonna see this. I was like, man, he needs the Academy Award of faces right there, because he's got this look on his face like, what the fuck are you talking about? But he was really like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You talking about? Oh shit! Wait, did you guys see The Dare though?
No.
Oh, what the fuck?
When did we ever talk about seeing no Dare movie?
I don't
You
remember
didn't see
the
The
dare.
Dare? It was
No.
great.
Well, spoiler alert.
And so is Under the Skin.
Bro, I'm gonna say something that I wanted to save because we're gonna talk about Under the Skin today. This is gonna be Josh and Deb explaining.
We're Josh, yeah. We're doing Josh.
Yeah. Explain. Yeah. You guys go right ahead. I'm just along for the ride, and I'm just, I'm sorry. I was gonna try to fake it, but I just couldn't.
So literally, I'm gonna say this right now. If you're brand new to the pod, this is not how we do stuff.
No.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, I highly recommend people watch this movie.
Yep.
This movie came out in 2013. People are losing their shit about it now because they talk about it being a movie about assault culture. The type of assault that's a 4-letter word, starts with R. There is one scene in the movie that is a physical attack like that, but that's not what the movie's about.
Oh wow,
that is
I'm
nothing.
kind of glad I didn't watch it. That's kind of high tech. You know that's a big one for me, man.
And understandably so, but to see the movie, it's not. I mean, the act of that is traumatic, but the way they show it in the movie is not graphic on the viewer.
No.
Okay.
It leaves it to the.
This movie leaves a lot to your imagination. I'm gonna tell you everything I liked about this movie. Deb, let's talk about. Deb and I haven't talked about the movie, so we'll talk about it. So,
okay, wait. I got a great idea right quick.
All right.
This is our new segment. It's called. It's called Cobb Vincing. You guys have to. Yes. You have to convince Cobweb to watch this movie.
Let me bring this up. And this is, Josh told me to remember this part.
Well, we're going to talk about the movie beginning through.
Well, this was in the beginning.
Okay.
This is like right in the beginning credits.
All right.
So like right into it goes into like they're looking in the neighborhood and they look up into the sky.
Mm-hmm.
They show. This is what caught my attention because they show.
You're already past the intro.
No, it's like right after. Okay, it is past the intro, but it's right before it gets into the movie.
Well, like, I'm trying to talk about how the movie started, not about how the movie right at the beginning.
Yeah, but you want to do like every second of the movie.
This is getting wild. This is like really like Deb explaining, and then this is Cobb Vincing.
Well, they show lights in the clouds.
Okay, well we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Yes, remember that part.
Yes, yeah.
So, the movie starts and it's weird. It's by here let's say the information. So it's written by Jonathan Glazer and directed by Jonathan Glazer. Writers Walter Campbell, Michael Faber. Stars Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy McWilliams, Lindsay Taylor McKay. All right, I don't know. Let's see what else Jonathan Glazer's done. Under the Skin, Birth, The Zone of Interest, Sexy Beast. Nothing I've ever seen except Under the Skin. All right, let's go back over here.
See, if I was Cobweb, I would already lost interest in this.
So the movie starts off.
I'm lost interest in it. I'm still looking. I'm just looking for something.
You don't know.
I'm here too.
You don't know what's going on. The movie starts off and all you hear is like five. And anybody who's taken or done any type of teaching a computer how to talk or any type of phonics type program, you know that it's learning. It's learning which vowels and consonants go together, you know, and you see like an eye being built from the inside. You see a spark of light in the darkness, and it gets brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. Then it pulls back and it looks like an eye forming, and then it just turns into this movie has editing that will take you out of it. You know how some editing you're like, you don't even realize that you're watching a movie. It's so smooth. It goes to a great cut. You don't realize the camera just moved 15 times within the past minute.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, this movie jumps from one scene to another scene when it needs to, and it's unsettling, and there's no real speak There's no real speak here either. There's no real speech in this movie until 13 minutes in the movie when there's actually a full line.
Okay.
No.
You gotta be dude, bro. You know.
There are words, but there's not a full line. You see stuff happening like, why the fuck is that happening? Why is this guy carrying a dead hooker over his shoulder and throwing her in the back of a van? And he's wearing like this crotch rocket type, you know what I mean? Crotch rocket motorcycle type body, like racing suits. Like, why is this guy doing this? And then all of a sudden the screen's just completely white. And then here's this dead hooker who you find out she's not dead and she's not a hooker. She's just, I mean, that's stereotypes that we put in our heads because she has fishnet stockings and shit like that, you know? And she's just there.
Josh,
what?
How do you know it's a hooker, man? Because of the fishnets?
I literally just explained that right now.
Right. I know a lot of decent women, man, out there that wear fishnet pantyhose, man. And they ain't hookers, dude. And they might take a little hash on the side, but they ain't hookers.
Look, let me tell you this. I love Marvel movies and comic book movies, DC movies, you know, but a lot of modern movies now, they feed you everything. They give you your baby food, your applesauce, every little spoon. They tell you every little thing. Here's why this person is this way. Here's why the Joker's a bad guy now. Here's this, here's that. This movie leaves shit up to your mind. And
that's the scariest part.
And the more fucked up you are in the head, the more this movie is twisted.
Dude, man, you make it actually scare me. Like I don't want to watch this movie.
No.
Like you're not convincing me to watch this.
Are there any jump scares in this movie?
No.
I don't think there's any jump scares in this movie.
Is this a horror movie?
It is.
It is a horror movie. It is a horror drama.
Sci-fi?
Horror drama sci-fi. So, all of a sudden, in this completely white room, right? Everything's white. You can't tell where the corner is or anything like that. It's like a video from the 90s. Everything's lit exactly the same. Everything's white. You know what I mean? The ground's white, the wall's white, the roof's white. You can't tell where the corner points are or anything like that. It's even from the ground up, everything's equal lighting. And then here is, which I didn't know was going to happen, but it can be a bonus depending on how you feel. Butt booty naked Scarlett Johansson. Completely.
Word?
Yeah.
Completely.
He's and like, okay, you got me.
And it's really her.
You might convincing me.
She accepted this role knowing ahead of time how much nudity. This is almost a modern life force, this movie. It almost is a modern life force.
Wait, okay.
In story,
are you getting like full?
Are
you getting full back? Or are you getting full front? Or are you getting the whole package?
Everything.
I'm just asking.
Everything.
You're getting the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this movie is so good.
It's on what show is it? What's this on?
It's on Max, on HBO Max. This movie is so good. Like if it was a bad movie, then you're like, naked Scarlett Johansson, it's worth watching, right? This movie is so good that it would still be good even if she wasn't naked.
Yep. I agree.
Really?
Whoa.
See, Deb even agrees.
It's a good movie.
For Deb to say that,
Hey.
If you want the easy sell of her nude body, Scarlett Johansson, right? You see everything multiple times in this movie. When I say everything, I'm talking about between the toes, behind the knees, thigh gap, armpits,
what?
Full front.
Armpits.
You see everything on her. There's shots where she's just completely naked, walking to the camera, walking away from camera, everything like that. But I'm saying
here, dude.
Yeah,
no, she's
and it very tastefully, I wouldn't even say artistically, but tastefully done. To the point, my point is, even if they didn't have this nudity in here, this movie is still a good thing to watch. So what she's doing as she's standing there completely nude, she starts taking the clothes from the abducted woman, right? She's putting the clothes on, and as she's doing that, the woman's crying. just like you see a single tear run down her eye.
This whole time though, you think she's dead because she's just laying there until they do a close up on her face, and then one tear in each eye just comes out.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
and like, oh, crap,
you feel
alive.
bad for her. There's nothing happening to her.
She's just taking her clothes.
And she's not forcefully taking her clothes from her. She's just taking her clothes like as a matter of fact. And then Scarlett Johansson reaches down, or her name. What is her name in the movie? I think she's just like the female. Or
Yeah, I think so. I don't think she has a
Does
name.
it have a name? It doesn't have a name?
I don't think so, because they never like call her.
on IMDb, she's called the female. But she reaches down and touches the girl's hip, right? And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, oh shit, she's bleeding. They stabbed her or something like that. And then Scarlett Johansson, the female, pulls her hand back, and she's just in amazement. There's an ant on her finger, and she's just standing there staring at the ant, like she had never.
Serious right now, Josh? Okay.
What?
So you trying to tell me how far along are we into this movie?
The first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
This is all happened in the first 3 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
When you start the movie, you're gonna be like, is there something wrong with my headphones? Is there something wrong with my TV? Because there's no sound. No sound. And then it's just plain white letters like Scarlett Johansson. Name of the other person. Name of the director. Under the skin. Like it doesn't say it. It just pops up on the screen. And you're like, what's wrong with the sound? That's what I was doing. I was, what's wrong with the sound? And then you just hear this droning sound building up. And that's when anyways, so now we'll get into the movie. She's walking around and she's just talking to people. Hey, how you doing? Where are you from? Where are you going to? You know.
Before they go into that, that's when
Oh yeah. Deborah's scene. They haven't even started talking yet. And then it shows this building. Go ahead, Deb.
They show a building, but then it's like really you just see the building and you see the clouds, and there's like 4 to 6 like little lights
lights
orbs
in the sky.
And what caught my attention is lately in the real world,
Been a bunch of that shit.
there's been a lot of videos of people seeing those lights in the clouds.
Videos that have been coming out recently, and this movie's from 2013.
Yeah.
The same pattern, like standing together and then just taking off into the sky. It's just they never technically say she's an alien. You never technically see a spaceship or anything like that.
Do you think she's an alien?
By the end of the movie?
By the end of the movie, yes.
So,
oh wow.
if you pay attention to the movie, her voice changes throughout the movie as she's learning to talk better and as she's learning her body more and more and more. That's the whole point. That's people are seeing this movie, like I said, as an assault culture movie. When I say assault, I'm talking about that 4-letter R word, because there is one of those at the end of the movie, right? So she's going around just talking to people. Then out of nowhere, she has this white van, the free candy in here type van. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So she's driving a van like that, and they're in Europe, so she's on the right hand side. That was the part for me that was hard to deal with, seeing the wheel on the other side.
That still bothers you?
This movie, there's so much of it in the van. So here's the thing: she's driving up to people. Hey, how are you doing? Where are you going? Where blah blah. Oh, you need a ride? Let's go with me. They filmed this movie. Have you ever seen Jackass?
Of course.
And you know how they did a whole bunch of skits where people didn't know they were in on a movie until after the movie was done?
Yeah.
That's how they did. That's how they did this movie. Hold on, I got a cough.
Well, that's just impressive. So a lot of it was ad-libbed.
Yeah, and she's in this movie and she's driving up to the single men and talking to them, and they're all like, "No, it's just me. I'm going down to the grocery store. I got a whatever. Blah 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 blah."
And then what does she do? She takes them home and
she takes them home and she starts flirting with them, right? As she's driving. When they get to her house, this is one of the things. Man, I got notes on this shit.
Get the fuck out of here.
This is what my notes say. First, A24. No sound in the intro. Why? How did the bright light make you feel? Like as I'm watching this movie, I'm taking notes. I'm stopping it, taking notes, just because this movie was so awesome. And then I put nah, hey, goodbye, nah, because you'll get it once you're watching the movie. Okay, so in real life, they were getting these guys, and it wasn't until it got to the point where they actually got good footage from the guys that they're like, hey, we're making a movie. This is what we need to do. So she gets these guys. I'm going to warn you right now. There is a lot of penis in this movie.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You're not convincing me again.
There is a lot of natural state penis in this movie.
This is a 50-50 movie.
It's a 50-50 movie?
It's 50 for the females, 50 for the males.
But there was not one penis in this movie that I was like, ooh, kind of scared of that. There was nothing that was intimidating to me. I was like, all right, yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You imagine yourself against the competition?
Yeah. Yeah. And in this movie, there was no competition. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, okay. Big John Stud here.
All right. So back to the movie. So see, this part, it kind of sucks that you haven't seen the movie, man.
Bro, I'm so sorry. I thought I watched this movie. In my mind, I'm thinking this movie is that other movie that I watched.
So check it out. They get to the house and she's flirting with them, all that, blah, 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 blah. And then they walk into the easiest way that I can describe the white room is, you remember in The Matrix when they bring out all the weapons?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so now picture exactly that, but black. So there's nothing. There's no light reflections or anything like that, but you can see the people perfectly clear, and then you see their reflection, like they're walking in a room of just like oil. Not dripping down the walls, just the walls, the roof are all perfectly black. There's no corners, there's nothing like that, and there's a reflection of like perfect reflection of water on the bottom, but there's no puddles. And I guess she has them hypnotized or whatever, because she's walking backwards in this darkness, taking off her clothes one piece at a time, right? And they're just looking at her, just amazed, right? They're like, okay, I'm about to hook up with Black Widow. And right. as they're walking towards her, they're getting shorter and shorter. You don't realize why they're getting shorter. Then the camera pulls back and you can see them, right? And each step they take, they're deeper and deeper into this black ooze, this tar, this whatever. And she's still walking on top of it like nothing. Right?
Wow.
Yeah. And then have you seen Get Out?
Get Out?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I've seen Get Out.
Okay.
That was the last good movie he's made.
So you know when they're underneath after the tea around the cup and all that, then they're looking up towards their body.
Right.
Yeah, when you're I forgot what it was called when you're in the other place, when your brain, whatever. That's kind of like how this movie is. And it's way back from 2013 where they're looking up and they can see her walking up there, and they're not drowning or anything like that. They're just in this black void of nothing.
Oh, and they're locked in their self-conscious.
No, they're locked in this ooze, tar, whatever thing.
Oh, wow.
Physically locked underneath it. And then,
oh shit.
And then she walks back out the door.
Puts her clothes back on.
Like she doesn't even have to strip down completely. Puts her clothes back on, leaves, goes get somebody else. So it's kind of like she's bringing food home for everybody else.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
Oh, dude, that sounds nasty, dude.
And then, but the editing in this movie, it just jumps to she's driving her van in traffic, and as she's doing that, this guy walks up to her and says, "Oh, that gentleman over there bought a rose for you." They're stuck in traffic. He's on the other side, and this is a guy just selling flowers on the side of the road. And she puts a rose off to the side, and she's looking at her hand, and it's bleeding. And she's like, she makes this. She doesn't say it, but it's kind of like, "Hey, that's blood." And then she's looking at herself, and she's not bleeding or anything like that. But then she sees the guy that was selling flowers. His hands were all cut up where he had been cutting the roses in public or whatever. You know what I mean? And that's how he was scraping by.
Okay, what is the reference of this? This seems like it's just a bunch of meaning stuff, that symbolism throughout this entire movie. It kind of plays tricks on your mind and mental.
The whole point of this
symbolism, it seems like
the whole point of this movie to me, because as she goes on, as she learns to speak more, as she learns whatever, she's becoming more and more of a person, and not just this mindless bringing food in. She almost seems like a robot. She is so good at not having emotion that you know how they joke around about the actress from Twilight not having any kind of emotion.
I know I don't, because I've never seen Twilight before. Well, I thought we established this a long time ago.
I'm not saying you have to watch Twilight.
You're not going to get my black man card taken away from me. I don't know not one brother that ever seen Twilight. And if there's some out there,
keep it to yourself.
We come to get you.
Shit. So
we're gonna get you like Ice Cube did in that video.
Oh, shit. No, but she starts like realizing the stuff that she's doing and all that. And then the only male that she picks up is a male that has, I want to look up the word so I can say it properly to show it respect. Neurofibromatosis. You ever seen that movie Mask with Cher about Rocky Dennis?
Yeah, I seen that junk. It was on the TV news. That was like a after school special junk, right?
Yeah, where his face is big and you know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't understand that back in the day, Josh, about the after school specials. You know they don't. Not that many people remember those.
But so they really hired this guy whose face is really like that. And here's a did you know fact. On his way to the interview, he got hit by a car, broke his leg or messed up his ankle or something like that. So the director went to go interview him the next day in real life. It was like, all right, you're the guy. So she picks him up in the van. Now we're back to the movie world. Picks him up in the van. His face is noticeably disfigured. You know?
Okay.
And just like Rocky Dennis's face was in Mask, it just, you know, and she's talking to him and she's talking to him like normal, blah, 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 blah. And he's kind of freaking out. Like, why is she talking to me like normal? And she doesn't even flinch. You know, even if somebody has a good heart, they're still going to be kind of like thrown off because this is a face that you don't see every day in the world.
I can understand that. There's been some things I've seen sometimes that just amaze me, you know, but you got to hold that stuff in. You don't want to make a scene out of yourself in public.
Right.
You know,
but she's not reacting at all in any negative way. And I'm telling Deborah, this is how she sees humans, that we're all the same. She, you know, she's not, she sees food. You know,
doesn't matter.
Yeah. She's not even thrown off about this guy or anything like that. And he's kind of weirded off by that because, and this goes back to what I said, it leaves stuff for your mind that somewhere in his life, even the people that were close to him kind of shunned him off or something. You know, the acting that this cat did was good.
Okay.
So
it sounds you're kind of convincing me a little bit more, you know, after the last thing of you told me about all the, you know, the schlongs in the movie.
So
you're bringing me back in to, like, you know I love a good movie with some good dialect and everything else like that, you know, but Josh, I don't know, man. You still haven't really told me that this is a horror movie yet. I haven't seen anything reason why this is a horror movie.
So with that being said, this guy with the fucked up face, you see his dick too.
You know, I'm on the other side of the fence again.
I'll get
Why
to
would I want to see a disfigured? I don't know.
It's
I'm
not
even
disfigured.
It's not disfigured, just his face. You see all of him butt booty naked too, and only his face is disfigured.
You know, I didn't even know all that.
You just about asked.
So pretty much anybody that's in this movie, they're probably naked.
Yeah, except the motorcycle guy. Dude, okay.
He's the only person.
You want horror?
Seeing all these people that's naked that don't need to be naked.
The second guy she convinces to go into what I'm calling the Black Matrix, right? The secret of the ooze. Okay. He's in there and he's just kind of, and it's not like they're floating like, oh, I'm underwater or whatever. They're just there. They don't look like they're in zero space, no gravity or anything like that. They're just there, just existing, you know? And he turns and he looks, and there's the first guy. And the first guy's kind of reaching towards him like, no, no, no. And unfortunately, I've seen a couple of times drowning victims, right? And this guy's skin is sloughing the way that like a drowning victim would. Like the skin's not holding right onto the body, right? But then his eyes are there, everything's there, and he's just kind of like, no, no, go away, right? And as he's doing that, he reaches towards this second guy. And does he touch him, Deb?
No. He
But
just reaches for
He
him.
reaches for him, and then all of a sudden, everything inside the skin just gets just sucked out into the blackness.
And then it's just like
And it's just the skin there. It's
floating.
it's just like a skin suit.
Yeah.
And then they cut to a scene where you see,
Not horror. That's grosser.
then they cut to a scene where you just see like pulp, the pulp of whatever came out of the body, just going down this like sled thing, like it's going, like you can tell they're using the protein or whatever to eat. You don't see nobody eating.
I guess that is that sounds they're eating human beings, so that's just not really going very well for me.
So you don't see it. You don't see it. You don't see it.
But you know they're eating human beings. You know this.
Watch the movie. Just watch.
You are convinced.
You have been warned.
You are convinced.
Okay, you want to see another scene?
Movie.
She's walking along the beach, right? And she runs into this guy. Well, she's standing there at the beach by a towel, and the guy's there wearing his suit you wear when you surfboard. I don't surfboard, but you know, he's wearing.
Yeah.
And he's swimming in, and he was like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna walk away with my towel." She's like, "No, I wanted to ask you some questions." He's like, "Oh, okay, ask me some questions." And further down the beach, you see a husband and a wife. This part's gonna make you not want to see the movie.
Wait a minute. See, you're not see.
No, hold on. You're watching a horror movie. So you see a husband and a wife enjoying their picnic at the beach, right? And then they have like a Dalmatian type dog, and the dog's in the water. And then you look at where they're having the picnic, right? And there's like a little baby there, like an 8-9 month old, year and a half old. I don't know about kids. It just like it don't talk.
Okay.
It don't talk and it don't walk. That old.
Wait a minute. Okay, keep going. You're making me nervous.
So as she's talking to the guy, she's like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" He's like, "Oh, I'm from the Czech Republic." He's like, "Oh, why are you here in Scotland?" He's like, "Oh, I just wanted to get away from it all." Just talking. And then all of a sudden you see the dog's too far out in the water, right?
Okay.
And he's just kind of looking like, what are these people going to do about the dog? And then all of a sudden you see the mom out in the water going for the dog, but the waves are coming in, banging against the rocks and everything like that.
They let the dog drown?
You never find out what happens to the dog, and you never see the dog struggling. You never see the dog.
You see the dog after the movie?
No.
You know what?
No.
Deb,
As the dog
Deb,
is, Deb, did you have a problem with it?
To be honest with you, I didn't even know it was a dog. That's all right. Now that you said it, I was gonna ask you, what's that that she's trying to catch?
Now that you know it's the dog, Deb, how do you feel now about this movie?
I still like it.
You don't see the dog struggling. When the dog's in the water, the dog was probably like, dog didn't know it was in the movie.
The dog was trying to get away from
the
the
dog
lady.
was probably like, I'm finally in the water. I can do what I want. Fuck yeah. And the dog looked all happy.
Yeah, it did.
So anyways, the lady starts swimming out. As she's swimming to the dog, the water keeps on bringing her back, right? You don't see the dog no more. You don't hear the dog cry or nothing like that. We'll pretend he made it to the rocks. Because since it's your mind, you got control over that. Right?
So that's where they leave the open-end stories.
No.
I'm not being convinced.
Hold on.
I mean, with the exception of being a peep freak.
So then the husband jumps into the water wearing his Marty McFly, New York rapper bubble coat, cold weather, heavy duty bubble coat, which you don't jump into the water with that. Because why?
Why?
I'm asking y'all. Why do you not jump?
It depends on which one you have.
Fully dressed in the water, shoes, dress shoes, like work shoes, penny loafers, whatever.
You're not supposed to do all that.
With your heavy duty cold weather coat on.
Well, it depends if you have the ones that's water resistant.
This one is not water resistant.
Oh, okay. Because if you had a water resistant one, then he could use it as almost like a raft.
So no. So he's going out there to save the wife, and as he's doing this, the swimmer guy tells her, he's like, "Hold on," and he runs away and he goes to save them. Right? This time the wife is out past the jettas, out past the rocks already. The husband's not even halfway there, and the waves are already coming in. The tide's coming in. Boom, boom. The water keeps on hitting him. Right? Swimmer guy is giving everything he's got. And he's a swimmer. He's homeless, and he's a swimmer. He's not homeless, but he's like backpacking across the country. So he can swim. He's strong. And he still can't get past these waves. He grabs the husband, swims back with the husband, tries to drag him up onto the beach. Right? The swimmer guy's having a hard time with it. He collapses because he's so tired. He'd just come back in from swimming for fun. You know what I mean?
I guess, Josh. I'm not.
Wife is gone. No, hold on. Well, let me explain. Wife is gone. She's just gone. You don't even see her no more. Husband runs back out to save the wife. Swimmer guy doesn't have anything left. He's just no energy whatsoever. Scarlett Johansson's looking at him, and he's all trying to cough up the water. He's still alive. Everything's all right, right? It's just he's burnt out all his energy swimming in this water, trying to save this fool, right? I wouldn't say fool because the guy was trying to save his wife. But so as he's there, he's trying to get up out the rocks, and she picks up. She's like just looking around, dude, stone cold, just like no emotion. And she's like looking around. She finds the right rock. She looks at it. She's like, yeah, boom, hits him across the head.
Okay.
Starts dragging the guy, right? As she's dragging the guy with her Scarlett Johansson lack of strength because the guy's heavier than her and drenched with water, right? She doesn't have super alien strength or nothing like that. She has what a person of her size. She doesn't
have Black Widow strength.
Yeah, she doesn't have Black Widow strength. She just has regular Scarlett Johansson strength. She's dragging this wet guy across the rocks. And as she's doing that, you hear the baby crying, baby crying, baby crying, baby crying. They left the baby out there on the picnic, at the picnic.
Yeah. They just left the baby there.
End of scene. End of scene. She throws the guy into the van, drives off. Cut back. They show the baby just like dirty, like the baby's just like moving around in the rocks and shit like that. And it looks like the baby's about to get up. End of scene. Completely done. You don't see them no more.
All right.
Wait. You will see something else later on. So, cut back to the guy with the messed up face, right? She touches his hand and she's like, oh, she grabs his hand and makes him touch her face. And she's like, you want to touch my neck? And he touches her neck, right? And she says, I got a place about 30 minutes from here. You want to go? And I felt so like the acting on this part was so good that they show him pinching the top of his hand to see if he was awake, right? And he lets go of the top of his hand. He's got the crease in his hand where his nails was digging into his skin. He was hurting his hand just to make sure this was a real situation. It wasn't a dream.
Okay.
They get to the Black Matrix, right? And he's following her, and he's following her, and he's following her, right? And this time she has to get completely naked because where everybody else just got sucked into the whatever, he wasn't affected by it.
He was looking around at his surroundings.
Not just being mesmerized by her. So this scene takes longer and everything like that. And then after a few minutes, he's gone. He's underneath the surface and all that. She walks away. She starts going on with her life or whatever, right? And as she's walking away, she's putting her clothes on. This house is all jacked up. And she sees a mirror. And as she's looking in the mirror, I think she finally looks at herself for the first time.
She gets a conscience.
She doesn't get a conscience, but she's like looking at her face and she's looking at her nose like this, like, what is this? You know, and whatever. So she goes back to the Matrix, right? Next thing you know, they show guy with messed up face just walking through the alleys and stuff like that. She let him go.
Okay.
She's walking around the countryside. She goes into a restaurant, orders a piece of the best looking chocolate cake you have ever seen. Does like a
so she developed a conscience after this now?
Well, no.
She's gonna live like a human?
No, it's not that she has a conscience. She's just learning that there's other options than what she was doing. She has this slice of cake. They bring it up to her, and she cuts. I wonder if she eats this way, because it was like the most perfect cut of cake, fork full, perfect. She was probably happy, like, oh, I get to eat carbs.
Yeah, you enjoyed this movie?
I did.
I'm trying to. I'm right.
This
like
movie does not.
Man.
This movie does not baby you. This movie does not spoon feed shit to you. This movie. This movie is an experience. So we'll jump to it. She can't eat the cake. She starts spitting the cake out. It tastes horrible. She can't eat. Or maybe she just doesn't know what it is to taste something. And you know this cake's gonna be rich and heavy. You know what I mean? If that's the first thing you've ever tasted, something that sweet might throw you off.
It could. I mean, you gotta, taste buds are taste buds, but again,
so
not really seeing the horror.
The motorcycle guy, which is another person just like him, shows up to the house and realizes that she let this guy go. Motorcycle guy hunts down guy with the jacked up face, kidnaps him, throws him in the trunk of his own car.
Oh, wow.
And like people are just watching from their windows, not saying anything, not doing anything.
And he takes off.
And then all of a sudden now there's 4 motorcycle guys that all look kind of exactly the same. And they all go in the 4 different directions, north, south, east, west, and they're looking for her. And then she's just dealing with people. She's dealing with people on the bus. And the bus driver's like, hey, you didn't bring a jacket. It's cold out here, blah, 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 blah. He's trying to be nice to her. And there's this guy who's kind of creepy. And the bus driver's like, leave her alone. She doesn't want to deal with you. And he tells her, I'll leave you alone, whatever. But if you need a place to hang out, you can come hang out with me. And she don't know. And you're already thinking to yourself, oh, this guy's fucked up. I thought he was a killer. I thought he was going to take her home and kill her the way that she takes people home and kills them.
Oh, it's going to be like a payback.
Yeah. Some kind of moral, karmic type of payback, right? So they get to his place and he makes her food. She's wearing his jacket in the rain and they're all talking. And he turns on the heater for her and he leaves, goes to another room. And he's just a sweet guy. He's a legit good guy. And it looks like time goes by. I don't know how much time. It could have been 2 days. It could have been 2 months. But then it gets to the point where they're talking to each other more and this and that. And then they're out sightseeing. And he picks her up and carries her over this puddle. Not not sightseeing like in the city or whatever. Just like walking through old country roads and shit like that. They're in Scotland. You can go see an old Scottish castle.
Yeah, so, this seems like almost like a chick flick.
No, it's not. So it gets to a scene where they decide they're gonna, do the old hucklebuck, get a little bump and grind going.
Okay.
And it's kind of funny because they're making out. He takes off all her clothes and all that, right? And I guess he gives her a little poke or something like that, because then she's like, wait a minute.
And she pushes him off.
She's like, wait a minute. And then like pushes him off to the side, right? And then here's Scarlett Johansson, butt naked. Well, she's got a shirt on, right?
Yeah.
Just bottom naked, right? And you see her sitting at the edge of the bed with the lamp, looking down there like, what the hell is down there?
Oh shit.
And
okay, all right.
And he's all like, I'm sorry, like, you know what I mean? Like he ends up, you think he's gonna be an asshole, you think he's gonna be a whatever, and he's just like, I'm sorry, you know, and he's trying to be nice, and she just puts on her clothes and leaves him
because she freaked out.
Because she's
an alien.
Yeah. She's, next thing you know, she's walking through the woods. As she's walking through the woods, she's like in a national park, right? There's a logger out there. The logger is nice, giving her directions, everything like this, blah, 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 right? And she just keeps on walking. She runs into a cabin, and this cabin, it says, for hikers of the whatever national park, blah, 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 blah. If you need to rest here, right? So she lays down, goes to sleep, wakes up, that logger's on top of her. And he's grabbing her in places. And
oh no, Josh.
Hold on. And she runs off. Right? She's running through the woods. It's getting chaotic. This is definitely a horror part of the story, right? And she runs back to where his truck's at, not knowing that that's his truck. And he catches up to her. And then she runs off again, right? And he tackles her. And he goes to assault her. And he's like tearing her clothes off of her. Right? She tries to get away. He's on top of her. She's belly down. And he goes to like grab her by her belt. Right, Deborah?
Yeah.
And as he's pulling like on her belt, her skin on her back kind of tears.
Oh, wow.
And she stands up. She stands up. And her skin is kind of like moving all weird, like the guy that was under the water. So I'm thinking what they do is they wear the skin of their victims.
Yeah.
And now that her skin is torn, it doesn't fit right. So the guy sees all this, and underneath, they're like that ooze. They're like that black ooze.
They're all black ooze.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's like she's wearing a black rubber suit because it's not like oozing. She's just.
Have you seen these people that are getting blackout tattoos?
A blackout tattoo?
Yeah, you haven't seen that? Where they do their entire skin onyx black?
Yeah, I've seen that before. What the heck is up with that?
I don't know. We won't even go into that. But that's what. So
that's what she looks like.
As she's walking away, like her skin's kind of like drooping off. So she grabs her hair and she's moving it, and it's weird because Scarlett Johansson's face is moving all weird. And then she peels the hair forward, and she like has to peel the skin off. And underneath her skin, you see her hair, you just regular body hair. You know what I mean, like on her arm and all that. But she's black, like your phone when the screen's off, black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's got no hair or anything like that. I mean, if they did a movie about the aliens like this, they're very impressive looking aliens. You think so, Deb?
Are you impressed? You impressed by these aliens that's going to come here and eat us and
take our skin?
So she's there, right? she's there, and
what's wrong with you people?
She's already she's already taken off the husk of the skin, right? Just completely skin free now. And she's looking at the face, the Scarlett Johansson face, and the eyes are moving, and she's looking at it kind of like, that was me, this is me. And she's just having this moment. Right, and as she's doing that, here comes the logger, the one that was trying to assault her, and he pours gasoline or whatever kind of fuel he had on her, and he lights her on fire.
And it takes off running.
Then he takes off running.
Because he didn't want to get caught on sexual assault.
Deb, what did you say when you saw it?
I said, that guy's pretty brave coming back.
She saw it as a human, an asshole human, coming back to get rid of an alien, right? All the people that are complaining about it, that's giving this movie a buzz, saw it as xenophobia, the fear of people that are different, assault.
But he knew that she figured out that she was an alien.
She didn't have no skin. I mean, if you looked at her, you're like, that's a fucking alien.
Right, so what's the problem?
Yeah. She also
But because
killed other people.
Yeah, and she was that. You don't know how many hundreds, if not thousands, their network has killed or anything like that.
Man, that's
But this movie's
Let me say this. Let me say this right quick, because I think I understand this movie from the nutshell.
They didn't try. They didn't make the movie like that. That wasn't their point with the movie. People
it's just
now
people are about this?
now-minded people that are watching it now are making it into that.
Like I was.
The whole point of this movie.
People.
The whole point of this movie was someone discovering themselves, learning more about themselves, and it just happens to be tragic and sad at the end.
But in the big picture, she's still an alien. She's still an alien killing people for their skin.
Yeah.
Right. What is this? Why are you feeling some type of compassion for her? I just wonder that was going to be considered the antagonist of this film.
Because now in the world today, all the villains have sad.
Joker had to be picked on.
It's like, why couldn't the Joker just be a bad guy? Because the Joker was a bad guy. Why do we have to have the story of why the Joker was a bad guy?
Yeah.
I could tell you why. Because it's entertaining.
Yes, because it's the Joker.
No.
Exactly.
No.
Give me more.
No, we don't need no. No.
Hey, you gonna tell me what I like and don't like?
No. Man, I didn't get to
use
that
1% around like it ain't nothing. Now you telling us.
I didn't get to use none of my notes or nothing. Yeah, how is it going to be?
How did you not use any of your notes? No. You spent like 3 hours describing this movie.
How is it going to be?
Hell yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Dude, Josh, I'm sitting over here stretching. I got a cramp in my butt because you've been going on about this movie for the last hour and a half.
How is it going to be?
I apologize for all of my Deb's-plainings.
How is it going to be?
I'm telling you, Deb. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about your Deb-plainings. Better than this. You see, he won't stop. He won't stop. He just keeps going. He's like the Energizer Bunny with no batteries. It just goes and goes and goes. The reason he ain't got no batteries because he's just full of Joshness, and he's just running off of that.
Where's the batteries at though?
My point being, how is it going to be? As Deb's coughing up a lung over there, I'm the sick one who could not speak this morning. And I just spent the past hour.
3 hours.
Hour and 1 minute, 41 seconds.
Later.
Dude.
Because
how do you feel inside that you spent all this time telling us all about this movie that you think that we all should be watching, that Cobweb didn't watch? And now, honestly, tell the truth, I'm glad I didn't.
No,
you need to watch it. You need to watch
I'm bringing
movie.
out the calculator of Josh. This movie gets a 10.
What?
10.
I gave this movie a 9.
What?
Yeah.
Are you guys serious?
You need to watch it for yourself. You need to watch it.
Okay.
You need to watch it and then come back and tell us what you think.
Okay.
So
that I can do.
This movie gets a 9.5 from Josh and Deb.
Next week we'll do the other one. You guys, this is part 1.
Well, next week we'll watch The Dare.
Yeah, we'll watch The Dare for the next movie.
and you watch Under the Skin. So
wait, does that mean we're gonna do another hour right now of Cobweb describing The Dare?
Describing The Dare.
Oh man!
And then next week, we'll talk about The Dare, and he can tell us what he thinks. We won't talk about the movie. We'll just say what each other thinks about. Like right now,
I don't know what the fuck you just said, Deborah. I know you're speaking English.
I'm Deb-splained. I'm Josh-splained.
No. Now you're Cobb-splaining. You're gonna try to explain the movie.
He's convinced to watch the movie.
No. He's gonna try to convince us to watch The Dare right now.
What?
It's his turn. And then next week, we'll say yay or nay. He'll say yay or nay.
Oh yeah, long episode. Instead of doing 2 or 3 episodes right now, we're just gonna do one long episode. Good idea, Deb. Mr. Webb, please proceed.
But I don't think he'll be as long as yours, though.
Okay. The Dare is like some crazy junk mixed up like with Saw and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, wrapped up in one. It's pretty crazy to honestly tell the truth, because it takes place with these people. They're all being kidnapped, and they're find themselves in this room. You know what I'm saying? And in the room, they're all tied up with chains and stuff like that. And there's one guy, he doesn't know what the heck's going on and stuff, you know. And then he calls the guy in. The people finally come in and come do what they want to do and stuff like that. And he says, like, he tortures you guys or something like, no, we don't torture him. You know, he doesn't do the torturing. He has us torture one of somebody else in the room. You know, so he comes back and he does all these crazy things to them, have them do other stuff to him. Like one, he had this chick pull out this guy's kidney and shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's pretty wild, dude. It's pretty wild.
So it's Cabin in the Woods.
No, it's not Cabin in the Woods, because they figure out what this guy was. And this guy was actually a kid that they knew back in the day.
That they were picking on. So now he's man.
Yeah. Because they messed around. They told him the last dare. They kept daring him to be in their group. And they would do stuff to him. So he would literally come back and he would do that same stuff to them later on at a high level. It's this one scene where this girl, she took this bug, the spider or something like that, and put it in his ear. You know what I'm saying? When he was a little kid. So he was like, literally, he had her he took a X-Acto blade and cut the guy's eyeball, and he put a bug in his eye, and it was crawling around inside of his eyeball socket. It was pretty crazy.
That's not the same thing as putting one in the ear. So that just shows he was an asshole. He took it to another level, bro.
He took it to another level, man. He took everything to another level.
That's not proper.
And that's
not proper vengeance.
That it was him. Let me tell you why. What the last dare was, that they asked him, they dared him to go into this house in the woods or something like that, right? And he was like, no, I'm not going to do it. He's like, no, he said, this is the last dare. He does it, and he ends up getting abducted by this guy that lived in the house. And the guy goes back and he takes him as his son, you know, and he goes back and he kills his and he goes back and kills his family. He makes him into a crazy ass son of a bitch, and that's how he became crazy. You know, I mean, his father only fed him. The old dude only fed him raw meat for like a couple years and shit.
It helps the body grow and does the body good.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, dude. If you want to see some shit that you be like, oh damn, when they do realize that it is the kid and stuff like that, they try to stop it and everything. You know, try to help and but it doesn't work. You know, it's pretty fucked up, dude. It was pretty fucked up. It had some nice, good. If you want looking for something that has a nice little, I don't know, punch to it, like, oh shit, that shock moments, those jump backs, it's full of that brutality and stuff like that. That stuff you're like, oh, I ain't never seen that before. That's some nasty shit. How they do that? It's got a lot of that in there. There's a lot of kills in this movie that I haven't seen before in other movies, and you've seen some pretty good ones. Like when he finally killed his father, the dude, he called his father. Because he worked in some meat packing plant or something like that. And you know how they do that stuff? They dip you in the hot water or something like that to debone it or something?
Yeah, to loosen it.
He dropped it. Yeah, his father was going to drop his ass in that shit, but he got the upper hand and he dropped his father in that shit. And his face came off, from all peeled off his body. So he took that face and that's what he used as his mask.
Wow.
Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and shit.
So how's it gonna take you 5 minutes? It took me an hour.
Because I'm good like that.
What do you give the movie? What do you give the dare?
I would give the dare a solid 8.
Oh shit.
I would give it a solid 8 because, like I said, there was a lot of kills in this movie that I never saw before. And the fact that the kid, he had an opportunity to run away from this guy and escape, but he had brainwashed him so much to thinking that nobody came looking for you, nobody wants you, I'm the only person that's going to take care of you. And he ran away and he came back.
He gaslighted
to live with him. Yeah, he came back. and he lived with them and called him a dad and had him raise him. Little did he know that nobody came looking for him because old dude went out there and killed his damn parents.
Yeah, there was nobody to look for him. That's why.
Right. He burned him in a trailer. So nobody came to look for him. And now those kids, they knew that he got abducted, but they didn't say anything about it.
Because they felt guilty. Yeah.
Because they didn't want to So they ran off and they just left him there in the house by himself, knowing that they saw the old dude abducted him.
That sounds like that movie that we saw where they pushed that girl out the window and she fell on the glass and they were playing murder, kill, victim, murder, whatever. What was that movie?
Oh, yeah.
And then they didn't say nothing because they were all guilty.
Oh,
that's a flick with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, wasn't that one of the Halloween movies? No. Yeah.
No.
It was
when we went through our Don't Hurt Us, Jamie Lee Curtis. It was one of those movies.
It's Prom Night.
Yeah. There you go. That's what it was. Yeah, Prom Night.
Classic.
All right, y'all. So I think we're done with today's episode of Cast of the Pod, which was supposed to be Under the Skin from 2013, and now also The Dare from 2019. Hit up all our social medias at Cast of the Pod. If you want to hit up Cobweb directly, you can hit him up at Cobweb411. That's COBWEB 411 because he's got that info for you. And don't forget about our Patreon. There's a long, drawn-out story of what you get when you're on that Patreon. Hey, did you see that wrestling video that I put in there?
Yes, I did see the wrestling video. The wrestling video was tight.
With the commentary?
Pretty good. Yeah, I saw the whole thing, man.
We throw some extra stuff in there, too, for our Patreons only. But all right, until next time, I am Josh.
I'm Cobweb.
And I'm Deb.
And Patreon pod people, regular pod people, fantabulous pod people, anybody listening, you have been warned. Peace.
Bye, everybody.